Hi, I'm so excited today to show you how I painted this Chinese dragon. I'm going to show you the main brushes I used, which are all available in Procreate, and what shades and what techniques I used. Also, check at the end of my video, there is another small animation of this dragon as well. Okay, so I'm going to start with monoline brush, and then I'm going to use technical pen as well. So I'm going to use the monoline brush where I need solid thick lines, and I'm going to use a technical pen when I'm going to use a really thin lines. So for instance here, I want to have really sharp edges, so I use a technical pen. I'm trying to use all shapes on different layers, so if I want to fix something, they're all separated and it's easy to do that. I'm using solid colors such as yellow, blue, red. I got inspired to do this illustration in our local event where we have lights with all those different statues, and that's where I got this inspiration. So at the end this dragon will be animated, and I wanted to paint it as it is a statue that is full of lights that are glowing. So I'm trying to keep the look as cartoon as possible, as I'm not trying to make it realistic. This is an illustration. As you can see, I'm trying to create each shape on different layer. And now I have the basic shape of the dragon's body. And I'm going to use a scales brush, but then you can paint it out as well, because I'm going to paint it over. It's just for my own reference. If you want to get this brush, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll give you a link to download this brush as well. Apart this brush, I used only all brushes that are available in Procreate. Now I'm adding highlights. I use a light brush. So I'm trying to use this as to create light inside of each shape, as it's glowing inside. And where I want to add some shadow, I use Airbrushing soft airbrush. Just to create a bit of more variety in all these shapes. And I'm using clipping mask. Okay, now I'm going to use technical pen again. I'm going to use a darker color, and I'm going to create a frame for glowing shape. So it's trying to create this effect as it's a statue with lights inside. So I'm drawing carefully, and then I'm going to use a clipping mask to make sure that all lines stay within the shape, inside the shape. Okay, so that's all what I have. It's just simple lines with connections in between them. And again, as I said, I use clipping mask. Then I'm going to change the opacity. And again, I'm going to use light brush. I'm going to choose a light color. And I'm going to add some highlights to emphasize the lights inside. Okay, I'm going to keep going what I did in just an example I showed you before. I'm using the same brushes and the same effect on all these shapes. I'm trying to create the same shades of the lights. Also, I add some shadow in the places where there's a connection, just to look at as it's darker. Again, I'm using reference from the event that had all these lights and statues. Now I'm going to draw a cloud. Again, it's going to be animated, so all the highlights and everything are really important to me to get prepared my file so I can use it later in the animation. So the first outline is just going to be not as precise, it's just for my own reference and the shape of what I want. Now I'm going to use Luminance Lightpen. No, actually it's a light brush, it's not light pen. I'll use a light pen later for small highlights, so use light brush. Now I'm going to use soft airbrush and I'm going to add some shadows. It's not really even a shadow, it's just also I'm going to create using technical pen. I'm going to create the wire again over the shapes, the same as I did previously. And I'm going to change opacity. And I'm adding some shadows in the places where there's a connection. And I'm going to use the smudge painting round brush and I'm going to smooth it a bit. Okay, on the new layer, now I'm going to use a light pen. And I'm going to add really small highlights. These are just as reflections of the light inside. I look at this as creating a glass with lights inside. And this brush is really good and it comes with Procreate. Okay, I'm going to add some different shade. I'm using purple. And now I'm going to create some dots around it. That shape. Now I'm adding more highlights and I'm now going to work on the cloud. I'm adding some more detail. Now I'm just going to drag different blue colors, different blue shades to fill in the gaps. Just simply drag and drop. I really like that feature in Procreate. Now I'm going to add some detail on this cloud. As I said, I create this so I can animate it, as I want all elements in my animation to be the ones that I painted. That's my son and my daughter. They were really interested in that illustration. Okay, so I'm adding some shadows in the selection just to create a bit of more depth in the illustration, in the cloud illustration. So I'm just going to paint around and to create as a drop shadow. So that's what I have so far. Now I'm going to add some highlights. I do exactly the same as I did with the other parts of this dragon. I use Lightpen. Now I'm adding the wire, the same as previously. Even it's not realistic, I still want it to be convincing, as it's a statue with lights inside. Now I'm going to add some darker shades in the places where the connection is. And I'm adding some dots that will be also animated. So these are a few more touches before the animation I did after drawing this. Also added some scales, some glowing scales as well in here. Again, I used the light pen. I really hope you enjoyed this video and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to click thumbs up. See you soon!